Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for attending today. My name is Mike Stallings. I'm the Senior Vice President of Sales here at Capital Distribution. Thank you for coming on the LinkedIn Live. We're streaming this through YouTube, LinkedIn, and also on Facebook. So, wanted to talk today. We're talking about PUP, our new exciting concept, Property Upgrade Partners. In the corner there, you'll see a chat box where you can post any questions you might have. We're going to try to hold the questions to the end, and purposely, I'd like to really keep these streams very short, to the point, and direct, so that way we have more time to focus on what's important to you in terms of your questions and any concerns you may have about the program. So just bear with me one second. I just want to make sure we're all set on the streams. It looks like everything is set up and rolling well here. So, and we can get started here, and I think we are good to go. So with that being said, let's get into what PUP is and how it can benefit your property and your location. And let me just click to the agenda and we'll get started. So today we're going to talk about what is PUP, why did we create it, who can benefit from PUP and what the goals of it are, leaving net operating income on the table and the cost of waiting, what one of our typical evaluations looks like, and the steps to investing in the future for your location. So what is PUP? Obviously, very important part here. It's a program we created. It's a comprehensive in-person evaluation. It's designed to give owners and managers clarity before making decisions. First thing you want to know before you make any type of investment in your property is, what do I need to address and what's most pressing? I want to really stress that this is not a sales pitch. It's a structured diagnostic, and it's built just to uncover inefficiencies, risks, and opportunities through energy, water, sewer, mechanical systems. And frankly, we believe so much in the ability of this program to help enhance your property that we offer both free and comprehensive evaluations. And one of the beauties of this program is that if you do end up doing a comprehensive evaluation, 100% of those fees are applied to any solution that we recommend that you end up implementing. So why did we create it? For the last 10 plus years, Capital Distribution's been helping major portfolios throughout the country reduce their water sewer bills, save money on energy, make their processes more efficient, reduce man hours, keep down costs in terms of repair parts, and extending the life of their equipment. And a lot of PUP has come from you, has come from the multifamily hospitality sector. What's important to you? We wanted to really create a comprehensive program that will go out and address what the biggest concerns are of property managers and those in the multifamily and hospitality industries, but also under other industries as well that we'll talk about. And we've also seen, from a lot of owners and managers across the country going into things with blind aspirations, not knowing exactly. So we wanted to really focus on where the points were that we could help at and create something that would actually provide the results where it's going to make sense. This slide's certainly not limited to the folks listed on here on who can benefit from this, but these are folks we've worked with throughout the years and always found solutions to these core types of locations, I should say, and always found and provided real value and helped them save money over the years. So the goals of PUP: increase your net operating income. I know many on this call and on this stream see that and they say, okay, great, how do we do it? This is about reducing the controllable expenses. Some expenses just are not going to go away, but we're here to try to find those hidden ways to increase your net operating income. Enhancing the resident and tenant experience. Some of the solutions we provide will accomplish just that, but we're focused on improving the comfort, the reliability, and the system performance, and not changing the status quo. A lot of folks will ask, well, gee, if I do this and I'm going to save X amount of money, what's it going to do for my tenants? Is it going to change their experience? And that's one of our prime concerns, is to make sure not only do we not disrupt the tenant experience, but we actually enhance it. Reducing repair costs and maintenance man hours. Big costs in many types of properties out there for sure. Reducing the cost and also reducing man hours through the recommendations that we provide to you. Overall property efficiency, your energy, your water, and your sewer. There's a lot of hidden ways that we can address that and provide solutions that are going to actually not only just make you more efficient, but save you money and increasing the property value as well, which is the last goal of PUP. We not only, as many of you know already, by increasing the net operating income, you're going to also increase the value of the property by doing so. So what are the main reasons why managers and owners hesitate to implement upgrades? Lack of awareness. Not many properties just simply don't realize how much operational inefficiency is going on within their location, within their systems, or that there is such a structured evaluation like this that exists that can help make them aware. Many owners and operators assume everything is fine. Systems are working, tenants aren't complaining, no harm, no foul. When in reality, there's probably a lot of skin on the bone, so to say, in terms of savings that we can address and help bring to the forefront and provide recommendations on how to achieve those. Fear of cost to implement. I know folks on this call, it's probably for most people, it's the number one reason why they don't go through the process of getting their properties evaluated. They're worried about the costs. Owners and managers often assume that these evaluations will lead to expensive upgrades, requiring upfront capital that they don't want to commit. Operational times constraints. Whenever we do an evaluation, there's a lot of legwork to it. And there's a reason why we offer a free and we offer a comprehensive one where we actually come on site and evaluate. There's a lot that goes into these evaluations. There's a lot of pictures, there's a lot of data, there's a lot of, walking through the property, identifying different potential pitfalls and finding ways to address them. So many property managers are more focused on their day-to-day and really don't have time to step back and actually analyze the building performance. Lack of a clear implementation plan. Many studies or engineering reports provide recommendations, but there's no realistic path to implement those improvements without a major disruption in the day-to-day or the cost. PUP was built to change all of this, and today we're going to alleviate these concerns for you, and you'll see how shortly. Why do most properties leave NOA savings on the table? Hidden water and energy waste. That's one of the primary things that are out there that can be addressed that many folks are not aware of solutions exist for. Solutions that, we're providing solutions that actually make sure you're only spending what you should be on your water and energy costs. You don't want to overspend because of inefficiency or because of simple things that are not aligned or maximized properly. We address those. Silent killers within your systems like scale, decreasing equipment efficiency. We have a new way to address scale and hard water without the endless filters, without paying somebody to put chemicals in your system every month or constantly filling up a water softener with salts. We have a new way to address that's just as efficient and very much is hands-off, set it and forget it type solution. Maintenance budgets and flooded by root cause issues. Another thing we talked about before, man hours, how many maintenance calls are the guys getting for, on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. Reduction in man hours, maintenance calls for repairs. Our solutions are very much set it and forget it. So it's going to not only decrease the amount of times that you're actually going to have to do repairs. It's also because our solutions are very turnkey. Once you set them up, you don't have to go back and change anything or provide maintenance or upgrade anything. Very much set it and forget it. And most capital decisions made without real diagnostics, evaluating and recommending solutions that work. We're going to show real return on investment projections. Most of the time we come in less than a year, and we provide options for no payments up front as well, which we'll get into a little bit later. What's the cost of doing nothing? Typically, when we do evaluations on properties, we can find ways to save money on energy from between 15 and 40%. From water and sewer, 15 to 30%. Leaks within the property. This is one of the prime causes of overusage on the or inflated water and sewer bills. Typically, we find thousands per month, and we actually have ways of determining just how much you're wasting on leaks alone, very simply within a week of our evaluation. We can actually, based on, and we'll dive into some of the solutions in a second, but based on what you're actually, we can tell you how bad of a leak you have how much it's costing you per month, and then you can make a determination whether you want to actually address that leak immediately. But in most cases, it makes sense to, because it could be costing you thousands per month. We find that we can reduce your maintenance labor and the use of parts by up to 30%. And we can one of the things that is happening is your equipment's not lasting as long as it should, based on inefficiencies and potentially scale and corrosion building up within these systems. So you might get a water heater, for example, or a boiler that has a typical 20-year lifespan, only lasting for 15 years, only lasting for 12 years. So we find somewhere between 20 and 50%, we can bring that back to where it should be, so the equipment lasts longer and prevents a very large out-of-pocket expense. So what does our comprehensive evaluation entail? We do a complete building review: energy usage, heating system performance, water sewer analysis, water and sewer efficiency analysis. We're going to identify inefficiencies and the savings that we can provide for that. We're going to address the heating and cooling operational efficiency. Also, as I mentioned before, your leak and the monitoring that we offer with that. We can detect those potential leaks and irregularities. We can provide monitoring. It's an optional add-on to the comprehensive evaluation. We also look for any rebate, incentive, or grant reviews. There's many programs out there. Some are state, some are federal, where by upgrading your equipment, you could actually get either a rebate or get an incentive immediately in order to do that. And we also look at the water in terms of the purity. Is it hard water? Do you have scale present? How much that's affecting your property? Depending on whether you go with the free or the comprehensive, we're going to perform tests on the water just to see how good or bad it is. After we evaluate, we come back with a complete building health and upgrade summary. We're going to document all the findings, the risks, and the improvement opportunities, give you a clear roadmap for the upgrades and the operational improvements, and then the projections. I think this is very important, knowing exactly what the average amount is that we're going to save between energy, water, and the maintenance costs. So you have a real clear picture of what, by implementing these suggestions that we make, what it's actually going to do for your building. Here's a few of the basics, and this is off an actual report. There's many more details in this, but we wanted to do a couple of screenshots. This was the 220-unit condo complex in Washington, D.C. Client paid for everything up front. They didn't utilize our financing, which I'll get into in a minute. But as you can see here, we addressed the water and sewer, and we estimated that we can save, if they save the average amount, $22,000 a year. Energy efficiency, over $28,000 a year. We found a leak that was costing them about $4,000 a month. So we could save them $48,000. Maintenance reduction, about 20% less on the labor and repairs. So another $5,000. Extending the equipment life by which kind of worked out to about $3,000 savings per year. For this particular location, there was no rebate potential. One thing you should also notice here is you'll see some average and middle of the road, but some of our solutions that we recommend actually guarantee savings. Like, for example, on the energy efficiency side, guaranteeing to save them 15% because they qualified for a certain upgrade to their system. So these are things that we'll find throughout, and in many cases, we'll be able to provide a guarantee of some type on energy or water savings. Part of the evaluation, and again, this was a comprehensive evaluation. As you can see here, we'll go back to the solution that we provided, the estimated cost. Now, we included, for example, SmartValve is a device where we provide the equipment. They wanted to use their plumber of choice. We estimated that in this particular case, the install is going to cost us between $5,000 and $6,000. And again, it's an estimate, of course, as anybody who's hired plumbers before knows. It's going to cost you, that could change very quickly depending on your situation. But we give real estimates of what you're looking at in terms of a cost, and then compare that to the annual savings, and then provide an ROI, as you can see here. So, for example, SmartValve, approximately $23,000. That's the installed price. The annual savings, about $22,000. ROI on that particular product, 13 months. As you can see, by them implementing all of these solutions here, their total cost would be about $63,000. The savings was almost double that, $117,000, based on average savings amounts. So an ROI of 6 months, which most people on this call will find very attractive, I think. Also, which is very important, we also provide the actual ongoing annual cost to maintain these products. And as I mentioned earlier, one of the big things that we had is that most of our solutions are set it and forget it type scenarios. As you can see here, you're looking at Smart Valve, no maintenance. Once it's installed, you set it, you forget it, you don't have to touch again. There's no maintenance, there's no add-ons, there's nothing you have to adjust. It's done. Vulcan, one of our other solutions, which is our descaling option, they actually need 3 different units here. So their cost is about $1 a month for each unit, so about $36 a year. The leak detection, the ongoing monitoring is $400 a month after the first year. And then NTEC, they chose to actually go with NTEC's most advanced monitoring side of things, which is about $200 a month. So as you can see here, the total cost is very minimal, a few $1,000s a year to kind of maintain this. But when you compare that to what they're saving per year, this was a no-brainer for them. Big key here was that they increased their NOI by about $117,000 while also increasing the value of the property by over $1.6 million. I think this is very attractive. In this particular case, is one of our better examples. I can't promise this for everybody, but I can say that almost always you're going to see something where typically we find enough ways to help the property to save enough money where the ROI is less than a year, and then you're just saving money nonstop. Now, we did offer this to the client as well. They chose to self-pay this, pay out of pocket, just paid us by check, and that was it. But we do have comprehensive, or I should say, different loan structures where we can make the obviously get to a point where you don't have to shell out anything up front. And we find a lot of folks take advantage of this, especially our highlighted program there on the bottom, where you basically pay $33 a month for the first 6 months, which allows you to bank the savings from the upgrades that you're doing to your property. We highlight the most popular program. I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in a second. But also, because this client did a comprehensive evaluation with us, we're able to offer even more perks to it. And what our highlighted finance program is called is Cash Flow Flex. Not only do the finances that cover the actual equipment, it also covers the total installed project costs, including the equipment, as I mentioned, any labor, installation labor, whether it's plumbing, mechanical, electrical, controls, commissioning, all that can be built into the financing, and also any implementation and integration costs. So we have a program where you actually, and I'm going to show you a path here in a second, where you don't have to shell out $1 up front. How this program works is the first 6 months, you pay $33 a month. And then after that, you get a normal payment over the next 3 years. The PUP advantage to this is clients that complete the on-site PUP evaluation get their first 6 months payments paid by us. So not only do you get the money back for actually doing a PUP on-site comprehensive evaluation, you also get your first 6 payments towards the financing covered by us. So your out-of-pocket is nothing because the initial cost is applied to the balance. So if that was, in this example, at $63,000, they would have gotten a deduction of whatever the on-site evaluation would have cost them. Plus, they're getting the first 6 payments reimbursed back to them. So they don't have to, if they had taken advantage of the financing, they did a self-pay in this case, but under their scenario, they wouldn't have to shell out $1 and get all those solutions implemented without shelling out a dime. As I mentioned, the remaining equipment is financed over 36 months. So the first 6 months, you don't pay anything. Then after the 6 months, you have 36 months of payments from there. And you'll notice if you go back a slide here for a second, or a couple slides, their savings was close to $10,000 a month. Even on the Cash Flow Flex program, their estimated cost per month was about $2,200. So they're still banking $7,000 after the first 6 months, which they're banking almost $10,000 a month to begin with. So you're always ahead of the game on this. Bottom line, 0 upfront costs, 6 introductory payments are covered by capital distribution if you do a comprehensive evaluation. The equipment and the labor is financed together. You have positive cash flow from month one, and you're saving immediately. Sorry about that. This slide came up a little funny, but these are the steps to getting evaluated. We always do a free evaluation call where we can discuss your situation, try to see, and actually, let me put this into the chat here. I'm going to put this into the, 1 second here. Let me put our, you can always schedule an introductory call with us. There's no charge for this at all. Just have to find the link there. Apologies. Let me put this into the chat so everybody can see it. So you can always schedule a call with us. It takes about 20 minutes or so. Basically, we're just going to get a feel of what your situation is and how we can help. From there, we can advise, we'll ask for a current water, sewer, and energy bill so we can see where you're at, also what you spent in 2025. We always recommend investing in the comprehensive evaluation, almost always. Sometimes we'll tell you, no, it just doesn't make sense. We can do this remotely and do the free version. From there, if we do the comprehensive evaluation, we come out, come on site, evaluate your property, come back in about a week with a detailed report and our recommendations, and then implement them. And you know, it's pretty straightforward. The biggest difference, and I'll explain this. Oh, I apologize. This slide came out really bad. This was not like this earlier. Basically, we're offering limited time, $4.99 for a comprehensive on-site evaluation. As I mentioned, the PUP fee is applied to all. And let me see if I can get you a better slide on this. I apologize, folks. This should not have come up this way. Let me see if we can fix this here. Bear with me 1 second. Really apologize for that. I don't know why that slide came up perfectly fine earlier, and now it's not. But let's make it to that slide. Bear with me 1 second, because I really apologize for that. I do not want that slide looking like that. I'm not sure why it came up like that. So slight rain delay here. But I will have this fixed for you in a second. And we'll get this rolling here. There we go. Okay, much better. Not sure why that came up that way. I apologize again. So the investment is normally $6.99 is what we charge, which is 100% applicable back to the implementation of the products towards the cost of the products. We're doing a limited time for $4.99, which gives you the comprehensive on-site evaluation. There are additional charges if you're outside of the New Jersey area, but I'll go into that in a second. And we have some perks for that as well. PUP fees applied. As you can see, there are some disclosures here. The minimum investment is $5,000 for that, and over $10,000 gets 100% back. This offer is valid through 4/15/26, and in the chat you'll also see a link to actually order this online if you wanted to go forward with that as well. Let me go back to the slide. Hopefully the slide's better. Okay, so the biggest difference is I want to kind of address this. So we do the free remote evaluation. We're basically relying on you to provide all the pictures, provide all the data, provide, we have a list of about 60 to 80 different data points that we collect. So we need to rely on you to provide this data to us. Take all the pictures, provide the bills to us. What's important is the biggest difference in why we always ask to make the investment in the $4.99. Having us on site allows us to do all the legwork. We know exactly where to look and we can do it more efficiently. We know the equipment we need to look at. We can take all the pictures. We're talking about 60 to 80 different data points, and usually we take between 75 and 100 pictures while we're on site. But more importantly, we're actually able to get into your building and kind of get a pulse for it and feel exactly what's going on. look at things that your guys may not have seen, catch things. We've been doing this for a long time, and now we're putting it into a program where we can rely on our backgrounds and knowledge in this area. So we want to get a customized look at your property and see where we can help the most. So having us on site is a huge advantage. And that's why we really stress that, we can do the free remote evaluation, but then you need to provide everything to us. And hopefully, the biggest thing is our evaluation is going to be based on the data you give us. So it has to be accurate. I know that if me personally, if I come on site and actually do this, and I will do this for most of you, I'm sure, because I'd like to be the one out there in front and rely on my 25 years experience of working with properties. So I know that I'm going to find everything and probably find things that you wouldn't have found. So, these are just basics. There is the free remote evaluation. We can do that, but we really recommend you go with the enhanced version because we do a more detailed water test. We're on site. We can get everything we need. And I know it's going to be correct. And then we can base our recommendations on our experience and be able to do this. So I know many of you on the call today are from outside New Jersey area. So we are planning on doing some traveling here. And if you're in one of these areas during this time and you do book a enhanced or comprehensive evaluation with us, we're going to waive the travel costs with it. Like I said, we'll work with you. If you have multiple locations in an area, we can always schedule something and we'll work with you on it. We're not looking to make money but we have to cover our travel expenses to get there. And those are not reimbursed, just so you know. But as I mentioned, in many cases, we can, if we can make it make sense, if we can set up multiple locations in any given area, whether it's in Miami, whether it's in Atlanta, whether it's in Pittsburgh, we can find a way to either minimize or waive the travel costs that go on top of the either $6.99 or $4.99, depending on whether or not you take advantage of the offer. Okay, so that's all I have from my end. I would like to there are a few questions here I'd like to get into. Oops, I didn't want to get to that slide yet. That was some extra slides we have there on the end. So there were a couple of questions in the chat box. And by the way, I also posted in the chat there just so you could see the different, there are a few links in there. One is our contact page. If you're interested in the PUP program, you can go there, sign up, and somebody will reach out and talk to you. There's also a link directly to our website if you wanted to order the comprehensive evaluation. There's a link to our online store for that as well. And there's also a Calendly link where you'll get a 30-minute call. You can schedule that on my calendar, and I am personally taking all the calls from everybody from this LinkedIn Live today. So, and here is our website and my direct email and contact phone number as well. So that being said, there are a few questions. Let me get to those. And first one is from Daniel in Miami. Okay, question. I have heard of evaluations programs like this before. They've been a waste of money. Why should we use yours? Well, Daniel, thank you for the blunt question. Do appreciate it. Certainly aware of people promising to save money and with evaluations. I think the biggest thing that separates us is that we offer a free or comprehensive evaluation. So we're not trying to trick anybody. We're just trying to find out where we can help out. We genuinely want to find ways to increase your net operating income. We always offer that free phone or web consultation before, scheduling anything with you from an on-site, comprehensive evaluation. It's about getting the right data and trying to find as many ways we can help the property that we can. And, coming on site gives us the best opportunity and increases the likelihood that we will find ways to help the property and make you more efficient and provide some solutions that can actually help. But there's a reason why we offer a free version as well, because some people could be, very remote. We haven't done any on-sites in, like, say, Alaska or Hawaii, but we have done a few free ones over the years. So yeah, I think that would be the best way I could explain that. Okay, second question from Jimmy in Allentown, Pennsylvania. How enhanced is the actual report you produce? Is it a one-pager? No, it's not a one-pager. That's for sure. It's typically much longer than one page. To give you an example, if we were to recommend, say, 4 different solutions, and that's kind of the maximum is somewhere between 4 and 6. Each page for each solution gets its own page as well, just explaining that particular solution. So that alone would be 4 to 5 pages right there. Plus, we have another 3 to 5 pages just on data that we found and summarizing everything. Typically, we put this into both a PDF and also into like a PowerPoint so we can walk you through it because it can be a little complex. That slide, actually, I can show you. This is an example of one of the slides. This is for that particular client that we were just looking at before, but this is one of the slides. We talk about the annual savings, the net operating income increase, how much value we're creating for the property itself, what the payback time is, and also, we kind of go with these are the recommendations. Another thing I did not mention also that's included in this is almost all these solutions are typically Section 179 eligible. Now, you have to check with your accountant. We're not professional accountants here. Everybody could be different. But what I would say is that, almost always these solutions are Section 179 eligible. Check with your accountant to be sure. That's our full disclosure here. But for those of you who don't know what that is, Section 179 allows you to write off 100% of the cost of the solution and the labor in year 1. So typically, depending on the lifespan, for example, Vulcan has a 25-year lifespan. And let's say the Vulcans you implemented were, I don't know, $10,000, let's say. You would have to write off $4,000 a year for over 25 years, whereas Section 179 allows you to write off that full $10,000 year 1, even if you're financing it also. Even if it's being financed, you could still write off the entire amount year 1. So that's another important part of the solutions we offer. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get a drink of water. Okay. Question from Judy in Texas. What types of solutions that are unique do you typically recommend? Great question, Judy. Today I'll showcase a few of them for you and explain a little bit about them. But today was much more about the evaluating side of things, and as opposed to actual products. Let me show you a quick. Let's see here. I believe we have. Here we go. So, like for example, this is a picture of the smart valve. I'll show you a couple different ones here. There's one of it installed. So this is an example of one of the solutions here. And this one, the smart valve actually saves our users typically between 15 and 25%. And those that don't fall in that bracket almost all save more. But it does this by correcting a mistake that the meter is making. And basically ensuring that you're paying what you should be for water and sewer. And then here's another one. This is our Vulcan. This is one of the larger ones. Actually, I believe this was a 6-inch line that we were treating. This is an eco-friendly chemical salt maintenance-free solution to address hard water and scale buildup. So it's not only making your energy bills decrease, but also enhancing the experience for your tenants. They're going to feel softer skin and hair. You're going to see better flow rates. There's so many benefits to Vulcan. What's really interesting about these two and why I picked them is both of these are set it and forget it solutions. Once you get these installed, you never have to touch them again. This Vulcan as an example, we call it the 2026 way to treat scale and hard water, because in the past, if you have water softeners, you're utilizing salts, you're utilizing chemicals, you're changing filters, you're changing membranes, you're doing all this legwork. This, you just wrap around the outside of your pipe. There's no plumbing involved, and it's set it and forget it. And that's what we like. We like to bring in things that actually help, and you don't have to worry about it. You set it, forget it, and that's it. You're done. Okay, let me close this out. And we have one more question, I believe. If anybody else has questions, you can still put them into the chat box here. We got a few more minutes. Let's see if we can. Bear with me one sec. We're going to trying to get this picture off here. Okay. And last question we have here is from DD, Michigan. Michigan, how much would it cost to have you come out and do a comprehensive evaluation? Thanks, DD, for the question. So the answer is, as I mentioned before, we're only looking to recoup the travel expenses when we're traveling out of the state. it's hard to give you an exact number right this second. It would depend on the cost of the flight, how many locations are we evaluating. I can tell you we're looking to work with you. So, whether you're in Michigan, whether you're in Atlanta, whether you're in Hawaii, if you want us to come out, we will. We will certainly do that no matter where you are, anywhere within the United States. But we'll work with you. If there's, again, this is why we always set up we first of all, we try to set up different locations throughout the year so we can kind of give people an opportunity to kind of get in on that, so we can either minimize or actually eliminate the actual travel expenses or the cost to you for the travel expenses. We'll work with you on it. Again, if for those of you that manage multiple sites, and if they're in the same location, no matter where you are, we can certainly minimize the cost in that sense. So again, we're here to work with you and find a way to make it as painless as possible. I should say, not painful. It's not what I meant. But this is really, we find that that it gives the best opportunity to have us on site. Will give you the best opportunity to actually, us to find the most potential in terms of saving you money and increasing NOI. Hopefully that answered your question. So, any other questions? If not, I want to have a short, to the point meeting today, or LinkedIn Live here today, and I hope everybody enjoyed it and found it educational. And feel free to reach out to us. Like I said, in the chat there are different links. We have links to our to my personal Calendly. If you want to schedule whether a web call or a phone call, we can do that through there. There's also links to to our contact page. If you feel more comfortable about us reaching out to you, we can do that at your convenience. Just fill out on the contact page, you'll see PUP, and just click that and fill out your information when somebody will reach out to you. And I really want to thank everybody for coming on today. And I hope, again, this was helpful. And we're really excited about this program and helping properties throughout the country. And, as I said, reach out to us, phone call. I always say this, a 20-minute phone call, how much is that worth to you? Take the 20 minutes, let us have a conversation about your location. I can pretty much, and usually I take most of those calls, just so I want to I'm very much a active participant in here. I'm not going to farm this out to somebody else. I want to be the one that's actually working with you hand in hand, because I've been doing this for a long time and I'm good at finding ways to help folks. So my goal is to take all of those calls, and you're getting somebody with a lot of experience and has done this for a long time. So schedule a call with me on Calendly, or reach out to us through our contact page. Give us a call directly, whatever works for you, and we're happy to work with you, and we'll figure it out. And like I said, this is a really exciting program for us. We really, I got into this many years ago just to find a way to help people, and I want to do that for a career. And I'm going to close with that. Is we're excited to work with everybody, and thank you again for the time today. And we're going to send you an email. If everybody that's on the call today, you're going to get a copy of this via email. It's going to be on YouTube. And thanks again. And everybody enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy the weekend. And we got Easter coming up early this year as well. So enjoy the holidays coming up and the warm weather. And thanks again, everybody. Have a great one.